Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com for Wednesday, October 12th. Tom Leach, along with Keeneland's Director of Mutuals and Simulcasting, Jim Goodman. And we're going to take a look at the late pick 4, which includes the Grade 3 J.P. Morgan Chase Jessamine Stakes. It's the 7th race on the Wednesday card. So we will start there. It's a nice group of 2-year-old fillies going 2 turns on the turf. Jim, where did you land?
This entire Wednesday card for a Wednesday is really good. A lot of full fields, and this is a nice stakes race for a Wednesday afternoon. I landed on, I got 2 horses here that I really couldn't separate much, and just because of the price, I went with a price with Chad Brown and Lipstick City, the 7 horse. Jose Lescano rides. The horse came from way, way out of it at Belmont at a mile, and I know that's not the style that is won on our turf course on opening weekend, but there seems to be enough speed in here that might be a style. If he can get the filly a little bit closer. She was 11 lengths out and came with a rush at the end and won by a neck, and she's going to like the stretch out to mile and 16th. She was 7 wide coming down the stretch, and I think that race sets her up very well for this. Now, with a caveat, it may not be able to close. The turf course has been. We needed some rain, obviously, so it's been playing fast. The other horse that I like that's got a little more positional speed, that's still a come-from-behind horse, is La Coronel with Giroux. And I started to single this horse because she comes out of a key race with New Money Honey, who came back and won last weekend, and Star Bear. So the 2 horses ran behind her at Saratoga, and ran behind her by 4 lengths. Both came back and won their next races. So those 2 horses, I think, are the top 2 in here. It's a contentious race after that, but slight edge to Lipstick City, but I could be talked into La Cornell. I'll see what the prices are at post time and see how any earlier turf races ran. You could also make a case to get there for Tapa coming out of the Grade 1 Natama. With 7-1 there with Papa Morales and gets Joe Bravo. We were just talking before we came on the air with Bravo winning the last race on Sunday, and he's a pretty tough rider. Timothy Ham has this filly, and he's a 16% trainer, so I think she's got a shot dropping out of Grade 1. I think the 14, Liberale for Jose Ortiz. I put Ortiz and Brown in every single multi-leg wager I can take because you do not want to leave them out. And the horse Lull, who may be the favorite for B.J. Hernandez and Christophe Clement, coming out of the Kentucky Downs Juvenile Fillies and won a $343,000 race last out. So this is a great race for a Wednesday afternoon. I think La Cornell and Lipstick City will be my choices, but I'm going to use most of them in the pick 4 that we'll talk about in just a minute.
I talked to Brian Hernandez for an interview that will be out via the Keeneland social media and maybe on the podcast with Jeremy and Caton as well. And he was really high on Lull, and that the connections, the Claiborne connections and Christophe Clement really think highly of this filly. With all that said, I picked against her with La Cornell. That race that she ran last time at Saratoga was one of the more impressive I saw at the Saratoga meet. She just had an explosive turn of foot that day. And you mentioned the 2 horses right behind her came back to win, and they won impressively, particularly New Money Honey. And it was just an 81 buyer for La Cornell. So coming out of a maiden race into a stake, but it is just a Grade 3 stake, so it's not like jumping all the way to a Grade 1. I'm going to take La Cornell. Lull I would use with her. Sweeping Patty was awfully impressive for Romans down at Kentucky Downs. I would include that one. Those were the ones I listed. I'd probably, on second thought, throw in the Chad Brown as well. But La Cornell is my win pick for the J.P. Morgan Chase Jessamine. I did talk to Norm Cassie for another interview, and he said that she has trained really well out of that race also. So seems to be coming up to it in good form. The 5th race is where the late pick 4 begins. I took 2 horses in there. Fact Finding is going to be real hard to beat. Should be a heavy favorite. But coming out of a maiden win, I'm going to try to beat that one with Nice Not Nice for Buff Bradley. It was much improved in the first start off a layoff. And the horse that beat Nice Not Nice, I think, is a pretty good one. And Nice Not Nice was well clear of the 3rd horse that day at Churchill. So I'm going to take that one and Fact Finding in the first leg. Second race, I'm going to go 5 deep. Deer Lane's my pick. just slightly over Thrilled. Dream Dance, a lot of Skirt, Moon Metal I'm going to use. I'm going to use La Coronelle and Lull in the feature. And then I'm going to go 4 deep in the last leg with Mango's Muse, Ginger Stone, Tis Sational, and Lucy. So 2 by 5 by 2 by 4. How about you?
And we're going to hit pick 4 today because I'm almost with you on every pick, and we do not talk about this before the recording. In the first leg, I'm like you. I think fact-finding is going to be a big favorite, but I'm not sure that I can trust him coming off just a maiden race. How do you compare him coming out of Saratoga versus Indian Lover coming out of Delaware? They got the same numbers, impressive races, good trainers. So I'm going to use Indian Lover, the 5, and Fact Finding, the 6. Also going to use your top pick, Nice Not Nice, the 2 for Buff Bradley. I'm going to throw in Awesome Choice, the 8 for Giroux. That horse ran one in Indiana, and a lot of people toss Indiana horses here, and Turf to Dirt. One thing you got to look at with that horse, it's an almost unknown trainer, Scotty McNair. His Turf to Dirt percentage is 75%. He's 3 out of 4. Giroux is a big move up from Eddie Perez, and he may give the lead from outside and get Brave. So I'm going to use the 2, 5, 6, 8 there. In the second leg, I'm going to use 5 deep. I'm going to use Dream Dance, the 1, Thrilled, the 4, who would be my top pick, A Lot of Skirt, the 6, Moon Metal, the 7, and Deer Lane, the 8, who would be my second pick, and I think it's got a real shot at 6 to 1 under Ortiz. So 1, 4, 6, 7, 8 there. Going to stick with just 2 horses in the Jessamine, La Coronelle, the 2, and the 7 that I mentioned, who would be my top pick, Lipstick City. And then the last leg, I'm going to go 5, 7, 8, which is the, I get my paper shifted here, Ginger Stone, who's my top pick, Mango's Muse, the 7, and Tizational, the 8. So I'm going to have a $60 ticket, 2, 5, 6, 8, with 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, with 2, 7, with 5, 7, 8. Maybe you can go to the windows.
Let's hope. Best of luck to everyone. We're going to be doing this podcast every day of the Keeneland Fall Meet. So make sure you join us next time for another edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.